All right, it is 5, I have 5 with 1. We want to go ahead and call the meeting to order. Who is to have the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We can have the roll call.
Sandra Cavazos Ayala. Present. Nelly Páez, absent. Roberto Ortiz.
Here.
Esmeralda Rodriguez. Present. Angelica Salinas.
Present.
Rosa María de Llano.
Present.
Etelvina Perez, absent. Rosneil Villarreal.
Present.
Rafael Romo, absent. We have a quorum.
All right, citizens' comments. Nobody has signed up, right? No?
No.
Minutes, if you want to go ahead and review the minutes, and I'll entertain a motion after that for your approval or amendment or changing.
I move that we approve the minutes. I second the motion.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor for approving the minutes?
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? Ayes have it. The minutes are approved. Communications and announcements.
In your packet, you do have the poetry festival booklet that I was not able to get to you last month, but there's a copy of it.
Can I say something about this?
Sure.
Yeah, because they had the theme, I gave them the theme because it's a theme for my booklet that I want to put at the end of the year. And we had over 1,000 entries. 1,000, they had never, of course, I had 4 workshops regarding this, which included a lot of the teachers. And hopefully this helped, but Roxanne was very, very amazed, surprised that we had so many. And I said, well, we had 4 workshops, prior to that, where we invited the teachers, and many of the students came from, just from high school, we had over 400 entries. I think that's amazing I don't know if you're familiar with poetry, but usually, we don't have that many.
We used to get, I think at one point we got 1,200, but it had been slowly declining.
Yeah,
Yeah, but at its highest, it was
maybe
1,200.
I didn't know.
When
She
Rena was
Oh,
taken.
when the other,
Mhm.
I guess when Roxanne she had never received so many.
Mm-hmm. No, not Roxanne.
Roxanne, yeah.
Mhm.
Well, I'm saying as a whole.
No,
in
it's
the schools, there's a lot of teachers are hesitant to give, I don't know why, they think
Mhm.
it's hard, or, I don't know. But it's not common, so
Mhm.
we were very happy, and you should have been here for the May 9th. She was here, because she was one of the,
Mhm.
of the finalists. She got a prize, and it was awesome. The poems are really, they touch our heart, yeah. Because, everybody says, ay, Laredo, and we don't sometimes we don't like our city. Read this. They love their city. They love the fact that we're bilingual, bicultural. And of course, they love tacos and, yeah, they talk a lot.
It's all about.
They talk a lot about food.
Yes.
Yeah, but I think coming from, and the first graders and second graders, coming from the mouths of babes, so.
I just
yeah.
have a question, and I don't know what happened, but I noticed that the majority of the winners at the elementary level all came from Blessed Sacrament School.
No, just one of the sections, first, second, and third.
Right.
Yes, yes.
And then,
The others did not.
right, so
Yeah,
I
third
don't
and
know
fourth.
what happened in first and second with the public schools, because were there not enough submissions or what, how did the information get out? I know that one time I spoke to Roxanne and she said, oh, the deadline has been moved up because some LISD or somebody did not submit them on time or something like that had
Yeah,
happened,
but
¿verdad?
I don't wanna say names, but yeah.
Yeah,
So-
so I don't
somebody had
know.
not, yeah, and sometimes the way we distribute information,
Mhm.
it's
Did
not
it get-
like, I called a lot of the curriculum directors directly, and they had not received any information prior. But that's also another thing that happened, but not, I didn't call the elementary, I'm more
With the
with the high school and middle school.
Yeah, so something is happening at the elementary, I think.
Yeah,
that-
yeah.
And I don't know, I mean,
I don't know.
if it was during testing, sometimes.
Also,
So I don't.
also,
there's
or
not-
maybe the teacher from Blessed Sacrament was very,
Just,
very enthusiastic about poetry. You have some teachers that are very enthusiastic, and they push it, and, yeah,
but
but
they were precious.
they were precious. We had one or two about the mothers,
Mhm.
because it was month of May, and it was okay to submit in other categories, it was okay. But most of them, read them, they're precious. Yeah.
I think the first and second grade teachers at public school are like pretty bombarded with
A lot of stuff.
Yeah, oh,
It could
we
be,
have
it
a
could be.
principal here, who can tell us, what do you think, Mr. Principal?
No, absolutely, I can
during
tell you
that
that
time.
during,
That time.
yeah, during that time and during most of the school year, there's a lot of things going on in the
Yeah.
public schools, especially at the elementary level.
Yeah, no, but they sent in for proposals way early.
They send them in October, November,
Way.
but,
way.
and then I think the deadline was February,
Mhm.
and I called, I wanna say in January, and many of the curriculum directors had not heard.
Yeah,
about
and
it.
it's- but
Yeah.
my point is that it doesn't matter when your proposals are.
okay.
It's like that
It's always the best.
entire year.
Yeah.
I know, a lot of, Ms. Rodriguez can actually vouch, they're just always busy.
Yeah.
There's no downtime.
And as a correction, there's, both groups, out of both groups, there's 9 winners here, 11 total winners from first through fifth. And out of those 11, 2 are not from Blessed Sacrament. So the other 9 are from Blessed Sacrament.
Yes.
And this is first through fifth,
Oh, through
not,
fifth.
not just
Oh,
lower grades.
just, yeah.
Uh-huh, it's first through fifth.
Oh,
9 out of the 11 are from Blessed
That's the
Sacrament.
observation.
So
that-
that's a little bit, I noticed that as well, because I know that we had some entries. And so I don't know what happened there. That does sound a little lopsided, if I'm gonna be perfectly honest.
yes.
Because 9 out of the 11 from first through
Through
fifth.
fifth grade.
And if we had so many entries,
We
you're
did,
talking
we
about
did.
the numbers.
Yes, the numbers were,
And it just, it
yes.
sounds a little lopsided that, cause
That was my
I know
point. Thank you for
LISD,
clarifying.
Yeah.
Yes.
I know LISD puts in a lot, I know we put in, a good handful. And so, yeah, that's a little off, I thought.
I had not seen that, I thought it was just the first and third.
Yeah, no. I-
Because the first and third totally, they were all Blessed Sacrament.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah, now
You
fourth
see,
and
you
fifth,
see
yes,
now
now I
how
see
it's
that.
just,
And you're
Yes.
talking about winners and honorable
And
mentions
honorable
together.
mentions, yes,
Yes, so total.
That was I had
Yeah,
that
in group one, it was totally Blessed Sacrament, it's like, we
In-
didn't receive any, but see, I'm not aware of, and then plus, when there was the selection, I had COVID, so I couldn't be here at
No,
all in March.
and the judges don't get names
No,
or.
they
they
don't know
just
where
get-
they're
They
from.
just
Right.
get the points.
Yes, yes,
So-
yes, yeah, that one.
Better-
I'm not saying.
I know, and I totally respect that because they do have, they ask for the one that has, no information on it.
Yes.
But it just, that just looks a little odd. I don't, and I know that I personally, I don't care to offer it to my lower grades, my first and second grade. I usually do third and up because I'm very careful that they're doing it on their own. And I feel like if I do first and second grade, I feel like moms and dads
Yes.
are gonna be excited and, yeah, and I just don't, I prefer, you know, that it comes from them. So, because they're focusing on the writing a little bit more, I stick to my third, fourth, and fifth grade groups. And I'm, you know, I give them the big ol', you know, copyright speech, and they're gonna put it through, you know, 10 different apps to make sure that
Yes, they
it's not, you know, just stuff like that. Yeah, I'm
Copy
just-
it off the
Right,
internet.
I'm, you know, we go through all of that when I'm presenting on this.
And it's tested in
But-
third, fourth.
Mhm.
Poetry.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
Yeah,
tested and.
Yeah, and it was
facts.
submitted way long ago, and I know, Robert, what you're saying, it's always critical, but this could be used as a tool to help them, you know, to preparation for the STAR, if the teachers choose to do that, you know?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like, it's an enhancement for you. So,
Yeah, but
it's not
that's,
just, oh, we have to stop because we're gonna do this, no, it's part of the objectives for the STAR. So, and
so
that
we
was
could
just
include
one point.
it
Oh, yeah,
like
that
that.
was.
We could include it as, you know, as, it could be
Next
like a teaching tool.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Next year, sure.
next year, I'll talk
It's
to
just
the
a
curriculum.
learning-
But
Sure.
it sounds
I
like,
see it as a
it
learning-
sounds like something's been lost though, from entries to the judges table though. That's what it looks like to me, because you were saying that you had more entries,
Yeah,
then I don't know,
How, the,
did they get to the judges table is my question. I don't know.
all those.
yes, Roxanne is the one that could answer. Again, I was not here, unfortunately, I had COVID. I couldn't even do the one, I just was in charge of the adult, and, other two people did it, and and they would just call me on the telephone, what do you think of this, but I couldn't be here, so I couldn't tell you, but it's just that Roxanne was so excited that we received so many, and then to repeat what she said, they didn't have what school they were from, so the judges were just choosing without knowing names, or just the grade, yes, but not, so.
Yes, because they were put in that
Yes,
group.
right. So, and yes, all of them got to the judges that I know, but the judges discard the ones that they, and then that's the way you do it in any contest, you know? You go over them and no, and then just select the ones. And maybe, who knows? Who knows? I
Well,
don't know.
maybe part of it next year, just as a word of it, I mean, I'm not in charge of this, I don't work with it,
Uh-huh.
but maybe some transparency in the process of selection and criteria and submissions and what's acceptable, because being a part of some committees before where I know exactly what you're talking about, so it is, I used to be part of the GT committees that evaluated for the entire district, and we always had to
Yeah, you
take
have
it
to
with an
be very
ounce of
careful.
salt, like, is this a student or is this a parent?
Yes, yes.
Right? So which one is it? And that, the authentic
Yeah.
writing, that's difficult to come by sometimes in these contests. I don't know how you would, it's
No,
beyond
I
me to
know,
understand how
I
you
know.
would decipher that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, because the first grade, True Cultures and first grade, what she wrote is like not a first grader. Yeah, that's like a, yeah.
That's my
So-
point.
My
So,
True
now that
Cultures
you-
living in a border town is pretty cool and with, yeah. I see what you mean.
So, Robert,
Maybe they were the parents of the
I
kid.
don't know. I don't have any proof for it either way, but I'm just
Yeah.
saying that in the future, you know, because that's already, this is past.
Yeah.
That would be maybe something to consider
The
moving
learning
forward.
process.
Yeah.
It's a learning, and again, I'm not into elementary at all, I really, I would have taken just the middle. I never had anything to do with elementary, so that's not my forte. But yes, now I know what you're saying, that maybe it was a parent.
so,
Well,
who is
I-
in
That's
charge
why
of
I don't do my lower grades. I don't, I'm
Yeah.
not, I haven't
As far
read
as-
these, I have no
as
clue.
far as the
I'm-
judges,
It's just,
the-
in my
no,
personal
the whole
opinion,
thing.
I don't care to
who?
offer it to the
Who's in
lower.
charge of this?
Roxanne,
She's in charge.
Garza, yes, and she does, I mean, she does.
From the beginning to the end.
Yes,
So now
And
another
I-
thing that might be reviewed, being that you're part of that group, is how many of the winners stuck to the
Right.
theme.
Well,
Not-
No, but it
hold
was
on.
not necessary.
Right, I know, but this is what I'm asking. How many of the winners stuck to the theme?
The ones that
And
come in.
if 99% of the winners are theme, then not sticking to the theme and that being allowed, maybe you wanna consider that as well, in the sense that, okay, are you judging it fairly because, not that, oh, I don't like it because it's not the theme, but, oh my gosh, cause it, like,
Yeah.
you get more excited because it's theme-based.
Same.
And if you're going to allow them to pick whatever they want, whatever subject area they want, not having to stick to the theme, then again, is
Why
that
give a
being
theme?
overlooked?
Yes.
I haven't, like I said, I
Yeah,
haven't
no.
read them, so I don't know.
There was two that were
Oh,
from
there were-
others, there were two.
And there's another one that was a very, very potent one that is almost like an outcry.
Oh, goodness.
Oh, yes, you'll see it, read
Yeah.
it,
Oh,
and it's a, I
Yes.
mean, if somebody
Oh.
doesn't do something about helping this child, I don't know, we're being negligent. It's almost like an outcry, so,
Do
and
you know if
it got at
somebody
first, yeah, and it got like a
Reached out
place,
to them,
I don't
to
know,
a counselor?
I
or
don't know,
somebody
but
from their school?
I don't know which one you're.
I know which, well, we can discuss it later,
Yeah.
because maybe not,
Yeah.
not right
Sí,
now,
no.
but those are some of the things that,
Yo, and to answer that, I'd rather that they stick to the theme, because why give a theme? Why give a prompt if they're not gonna, you know,
And that's fine, but don't say, or whatever you want.
No, yeah, in my opinion.
Don't give that option
Yeah, in my opinion,
and stick to the
we're,
theme.
we're talking about the city, let's talk about the city. I mean, there were so many areas that they touched, so many, you know, ways of looking at the cultures and what we do and what we don't do.
But by the same token, don't overlook a poet who really did an awesome job and just didn't stick to the theme. It was something that came from within that, for whatever reason, it had nothing to do with the theme and it was overlooked, is what I'm getting at. Like, if you're either gonna stick to the theme and go for it, or if you're gonna give the option, then make sure that you're
Yeah.
allowing them to express themselves and respect that and take that,
Well, I think they did it because, you know, two of them didn't stick to the theme and were chosen. So I think
and that's just something,
Yeah.
to
to consider for
to-
next time. I think first of all, we should thank Roxanne, please publicly acknowledge her work. She does,
1,000 homes,
yes, that's a
lot.
lot. Yeah, that's a lot, and she
Don't
starts.
think she did it by herself.
No, well, no, I know.
Right,
she
right,
has-
right.
The staff was like.
I know,
Yeah.
but she's.
No,
It could be too
Putting
much for
this
one
on
person.
is a
No.
big
But
task.
she was in charge, and she loves it, and she puts her heart and soul into it, and I think that's why it comes out.
And definitely,
so
Ms.
well.
Dano, I believe the entire committee should be congratulated. I'll read them out publicly. And this is Roxanne Garza, Laredo Public Library, Mrs. Rios, Laredo College, Cynthia Rodriguez, Laredo College, Rosa Maria, Mrs. Diano, our poet laureate, Patricia Gonzalez, Tammy Yu, Sylvia Vargas, Tammy Yu, Melissa Benavides, UISD, Meli Baez, LISD, and Nicole Romanos from the Harmony Public Schools of Laredo, because obviously whether it's the first grader or the adults have a lot to say, which is good. We need to nurture this. And I think it's just a couple of things of just like we do every year in any organization, whether it's public or private, you look at ways to improve. That's it. And I think but it's very good that we put this together. I think se animaron muchos this year and said, hey,
Yes,
that's a lot of
sí,
entries.
sí.
I wouldn't want to go through all that, I can tell you that. It's a lot of work.
Even when you divide it
Right.
into the
Yes.
sections.
And you
Yeah.
should have seen Saturday,
Yeah.
the room was packed,
oh, yes, and
Oh,
all
sure.
the other family members.
packed,
Sure,
and that's wonderful to see.
yes.
And the little children, you know, all ages, saying poetry.
Oh, sure,
And
of course.
about our cultures, and it was a joy to be here. And I was the master, the MC.
Yeah, no, and
It
that's
was
something,
very
it's, things that do need to be, the perspective, especially I like the theme of living on the border. I think that's something that needs to be more thought of and documented, over time. as the experience and as the border changes, it has changed over time.
That's what we're doing because I wanna present the city with a book of my own. So I said, if we're gonna have a theme with, let's do that, to have the little ones. I have no time to go to the schools. I mean, I do it for the adults and that's it.
No, absolutely. So
So-
I think the whole committee, including yourself, should be congratulated. Again, just points of progress and monitoring and just improvement over time. Yes. Okay. Thank you. More communications and announcements?
No, that's
No?
it.
All right, comparison to year-to-date statistics.
And that's the report you requested, Mr. Ortiz, to see where we're at compared to pre-COVID. We're still not there, but we're getting there.
Well, that's a good, yeah.
I would say we're at 75% in some of the, and who knows after this summer. Because
Right,
yesterday, the parking lot was packed.
yes.
Right now it's packed.
Well,
Right now
the
it's
teams
packed.
were there, right, yes.
Yeah.
That's a good sign.
I loved it. I couldn't find a parking space and I loved it. I loved it because that means.
Well, I was
people are-
at a meeting Tuesday morning, I'm like, what's going on?
Where did I
Oh,
Yeah.
no, it's like, what's going on? Why is the park? I forgot, it started,
It's summer.
it started yesterday.
Yeah, it's beautiful. To me, it was beautiful.
And we still haven't started with the meals. I
You
think
haven't?
we're starting
Oh, wow.
till next week.
Yeah, well, I'm glad, this is what the library is for the community and to be used by them. So,
Yes, it gets really busy.
yeah, I'm glad.
This is good, so we're about maybe, like I said, a rough estimate, about 77% of usage is prior to COVID. So, yeah, that's important, these are important things to, you know, to document and to see what our goals are as far as participation. And I know that we get rated on these things as a public library, don't we? As far
We
as
report all
you
these
report all of
statistics.
this, right? And this is important to continue, you know, with the verification of the funding we receive as a library, to say, hey, it's something we are being, it's a well-used, you know, well-visited area. The brick and mortar in particular, because these days it seems like investments in brick and mortar
Same.
are kind of less and less when it comes to certain things,
It
right?
didn't pass, I think, the Senate or the House. There was somebody that had something about money for construction of libraries.
Right.
You know, that it just.
Right, and I think that, like I said, like we said at our meeting when we met with the city council with our representatives, that, you know, it's the one area that really is in the public's eye a lot. And so it does need to be nurtured, it does need to be supplemented and supported financially, everything. So the more the public sees it, the more the public can appreciate it and use its services for what they're for. I mean, that they're getting their bang for their buck and their investment in their tax dollars. So that's good. I'm glad to see it's progressing. Thank you for this. Library director's update?
I do have an update on Bruni. They have finished the asbestos abatement. It's done. I know that they're still gonna go in there and do some sheet rock, but that's on their side of the building.
Oh, on the other side.
Yeah, it's like, we haven't seen anything. We just know they didn't show up all of a sudden, they finished. Currently, we do have vacancies. We have librarian 3, 2 librarian 2s. And the good news is we have 3 staff members that just got their masters.
Oh,
So,
wow.
That's qualified.
Are the, for those positions, are I guess the salary benefits competitive?
Yes, they are. As a matter of fact, the city just did a salary study.
Mhm.
And we turned in job descriptions for them, and they were where they should be. So,
Good. That's good to hear.
we also have a couple of part-time positions that I'm hoping by the end of the week we'll have recommendations to hire. And then in your packet, you have the checklists that are part of the report.
So there was, at the Bruni, there was, you graffiti on the book drop. Is that an outdoor book drop?
It is. Actually, it is a book drop. At one point, when I first started, we had a mailbox.
At Bruni?
Yes. I started 20-something years ago, but it is a book drop, so.
It's downtown.
Yeah.
I read in Facebook where somebody is saying, why don't we tear it down
Yes.
and put the library in an old building
One of the
downtown?
old-
Yeah, somebody, they meant, well, they wanted the plaza.
It was about the fountain, I saw
The
that they had
fountain, yes,
pictures of, and it
yes.
was fixed, like, maybe 6-7 years ago, the fountain, there was the lights and everything, and then
The
Well, it
fountain, oh,
needs-
it's so pretty.
they fixed it, and it was
The fountain
working.
needs constant maintenance.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, weekly maintenance.
What
And I
are
don't know.
the directional signs that need to be, we're waiting on Nikki for what time?
Just where, the books are located, the end caps to see.
The different sections, the categories.
I mean, it's Bruni, you walk in, it's there. It's like there's
That's
no-
it.
That's it, but at least for the bookshelves.
We ought to have a meeting there someday, so we can
Yes.
just see what it's like. We used to
Yes.
have meetings, remember, in
In
different
different
libraries, just to, something different, you know, I don't know.
The recording.
If it's feasible.
Oh, the recording.
Oh.
That's why we stopped.
That's why that's not, okay. When you
Oh,
said
I
the
did-
recording,
I
I
did-
said,
I
okay,
can't
I'm gonna
remember.
say something wrong.
Oh, because.
But you are welcome to visit.
Yeah, oh.
It's
that's
very,
why
it's a
we
lot
stopped.
nicer than it used
Yes,
to be.
yes.
It is.
Okay.
Yes.
But
But is there a conference room or?
no, there is no
So
conference
like we're
room.
really quick.
It's a really tiny, but LVO does have classes there. There's a section that's kind of behind the bookshelves, and they have classes
Literacy
there.
volunteers?
Mhm. Of Laredo, yes.
That's good. That's good.
And yeah, what's happening with the AC at the mosque? Did it kick in?
It's done, right?
Yeah, we're working on it.
It's like little things, every single AC.
Because I don't know if it
needs
was the
to-
whole library or a section of it, but my brother took his grandkids to summer camp
Mhm.
yesterday, Tuesday, and he said it was hot.
Yeah, we had what do you call it, a fan that burned down, so we already got the quote on the system to get the PS.
And it's cosa de every single one, it's like, the basket needs cleaning, and then after the cleaning, it's gonna be freon, but it's cool.
Yeah, that's another thing, like Rosa Maria just
Yes.
said, it's constant.
It's constant.
That's
It's
constant
constant.
work that needs to be done.
The good thing, Edward, my maintenance guy, knows a little bit, so he can look and at least diagnose it, so.
Troubleshooting, yeah.
So. He's real good with that.
Okay, it's okay. Yeah.
Better than hot.
It's better than hot. AC cool down.
Need more books. Yeah, I'd like to visit the Bruni.
Me too.
It looks a lot open, the way that we structured it.
I remember when Mr. Oaxaca was in Luciano.
Never met him.
Never met Mr.
Never
Oaxaca.
met him. When I came aboard, I think he had just
He had
passed
just
away.
passed.
I
In
knew
90
him since
something,
I was a
92.
little girl.
Yeah.
I used to go to the library downtown, we would walk upstairs, up over there where it's the Center for the Arts now,
I
upstairs.
see up there.
That's where the
That's where it
library.
started, yes.
And I would go in the bus, get down, go there, get my little card, check out a book, and I was like, I don't know, 7, 8 years old. And it was
Those were the
safe at
days.
that time to get in the
Yes.
bus by yourself and
Yeah.
go sometimes.
Yeah, I would do the same.
Yeah.
Well, you're in Mobile,
And me here, I would get the bus on Gustavus, and get downtown, walk there, and went to the library. Because our parents didn't take us.
Yeah.
Our parents didn't take us, they were working, and my mother didn't drive. It was so different. But,
different life.
yeah, but I went by myself.
Same.
Came back. That's how much I love
Yep.
to read since I was a little. So I was And that's where Mr. Duarte.
Any other observations on the monthly checklist? Okay, then on the from the library programs and services.
You have the flyers also in your packet. There's one that's 8 by 10, and that's because we're having the program at every single one of the branches
And different dates.
at different dates.
Yes.
We had it last year,
Titles.
That's I love
and
it.
it was packed. I mean,
I
it was-
love it.
The kids
So
really
there's some
know.
mobiles to
See, and Nikki is so good. Yes, this
Yes.
is very,
So okay, and when is it here? On Wednesday, June 7th, next week, at 10 a.m. and 3, there's 2 shows.
see.
I think the 10:30 is for the little ones, the 3 is for the teens.
Oh, that is so cute.
And who brings these?
We do, he is a local person.
What's his name?
What is his name? Gonzalo? No. Alex? Yes.
But I don't know his last
He
name.
brings live animals.
Yes.
I don't
No,
know.
he talks to them and educates them about each one.
And it's inside the building?
Yes.
He brings
Snakes,
eggs.
geckos, lizards,
Yeah, turtles.
turtles. Anything
Dinosaurs?
for-
Dinosaurs?
No,
Yeah, it's a dinosaur.
But no, I think last year we had them at 3 of the libraries, and it was
A
packed.
success.
It was
That's
very
good.
much.
That's good to know, Robert, for the school.
He's
can hire
gone
them.
to the
He's gone to
schools
the schools.
also.
Yes.
He's gone to the schools.
Qué bueno.
It's a show?
It's a show.
or
He has a
thing,
PowerPoint.
Or like a display?
Yeah, no, and then he has several helpers and they go
Bring
around.
out
so
to the
people
time
can-
with a tarantula probably.
We
Tarantula.
had somebody come for a career date and he had a big old snake
Yeah.
and some other stuff.
It might have been.
Needless to say, I stayed away, so I'm not really sure about
Yeah,
all the
I'm
rest
not
of the
a
information.
fan.
No,
But
I'm not.
a
But the
while
kids
back,
love it.
Yeah.
before
kids would
COVID,
love
we
it.
had somebody from Austin that did the same thing, so it's kind of nice to have somebody else. I wore that boat.
Remember when Laredo had Johnson reptile or something, Johnson Snake Farm? Do you remember there was a snake farm in Laredo? Johnson Snake, and then one time some of the snakes escaped.
Oh, jeez.
I'm talking
Well, I remember
way before all
Coach
of you.
Reese had a snake
No,
snake
this
show.
is-
Yes.
John Reese
Yes, I
lived
remember.
in Ensign, but he had snakes and he would show
It was
take
by
them to
the-
schools.
By the highway, by the San Antonio, I mean, Snake Farm.
Oh,
Look it
there's
up,
one
it's
still
part of-
there.
It is,
It's still there, but
It's still-
but it was Johnson and then.
Johnson's a long time ago.
Yeah, in the 60s or 70s, the snakes, some snakes, somebody opened, whatever. And it was like, Laredo invadido, no sé, invadido por people, por serpientes.
From San Antonio. They made it all the way
Yeah.
down here.
No, from here.
From
Laredo,
here.
From here. It's still there, you say, right?
Well, the one in San Antonio, that one.
I don't know, there was one in Laredo.
That one.
Johnson Snake Farm, Johnson.
Sketch mom. Last word.
Sketchy. Mhm. It's a
And
teacher from UISD that comes in. They get a good crowd, they get a good crowd.
It's over there where the last
No,
Over there where I lost.
no, that's in Moss.
Oh, it is down the south
okay.
front.
The South Front, because that's usually who has it.
Where is it gonna be at Moss? Oh, this is gonna be at Moss, on the south.
Yes,
Oh, wow.
'cause that's a one.
Sketch one.
16
and up.
But it's only at Moss,
Only in Moss.
every, and for Saturday?
On selected Saturdays, once a month.
Age is so only 16 and up. Yeah, I guess he doesn't want any. No.
Quiere tocar niños.
Sí,
Yo
sí.
fui una vez y ya no quise ir.
Okay, it's
Kids were
gone.
all over the place.
She doesn't have kids on that.
No,
Sí.
ay, ya was like,
Sí.
híjole. I don't know, it's not the same, because it should be for adults. And sí, adults, pero una
Sí.
la mamá llevó a sus niños.
Sí,
Y,
cuando-
pues,
I've never
yeah,
seen that
and they
before
were
either.
all over the place, they were playing with my
Is
stuff.
this a new, on this flyer, is this a new logo?
Check this out.
Yes.
That's the one we're using.
Is that new?
No, we've had it for a long, long time. I'm trying to think of when we first got it.
Here where it says
Oh, the one-
established in 1960.
Because Ms. Salinas was talking about how it says established 1916.
Oh, that's the library, the original, in the market. No, I'm kidding, I don't know if that's the library.
No, but it's like we've had public libraries here since 1916.
It was not incorporated into the city until later, but there was, I don't know, I wanna say the Women's City Club or a women's club. All the history's upstairs.
Right, this is 1916.
Yeah.
No, where is that? That little,
It's that little circle on the lower left, right-hand corner.
The first one you can see.
okay, more than just one.
We were
Established
saying that we
19
missed the 100 years.
Yeah, we missed the anniversary.
long.
Have to wait till 150.
She said that we use it.
More than just.
That lady that's up there somewhere, I think she was one of them.
It's hard to see
Yeah,
that
it's-
smaller.
Yeah, in the smaller ones you can see.
Yeah, but we've gotten these on
It is
t-shirts.
there.
1915 or 16?
16. I'll bring you the history of the library next time.
Maybe it's something you should do is create some shirts to sell since 1960. Literate since 1916, or something like
The
that.
friends might be able to do that, but we.
Literate in both languages since 1916. Something
But
like.
yeah, it would be nice to see how it was started.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
The
think it's.
history of the library.
Yes.
Yeah.
I
yeah,
know we have it upstairs somewhere.
yeah. Can you find
I
for
know, what's
us?
her last name? Flores? The lady that whose pictures up
A
there.
ver,
A ver, bueno, pues,
can that go up?
No. It's
No.
just like,
The screen doesn't go up?
oh my
No.
gosh. Been a while, they can try.
Then why do you have the pictures in the back?
We'll see. Maybe move the pictures to the other
Maybe
side.
the battery in this
Oh,
thing.
that lady.
Mhm.
Oh,
Why-
wow,
why-
interesting.
Bring
it up.
No.
Can you get it fixed? Is it gonna get
Yeah, I'm
fixed?
gonna have to get some.
Okay, cause I see the lady, wow, that's
Yeah.
interesting. Why don't you all move these
Why not?
pictures to the other side? Mira ella.
Ah, qué hermosa.
Yes, that's beautiful.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
She did the.
Did you have a request to put this, fix this screen?
I'm gonna start.
Would you, so that it can go up? Because
Yes.
I mean, the pictures are gorgeous. I don't know if
Ms.
it's.
Solis, I think we should know a little bit about the history of it.
It's
Yeah.
upstairs, yes,
Can
yes.
you,
Can get it for
some
you.
for us? Or Miss La Perriere? Come on, I don't know. That would be so interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
I think it might be on our strategic plan too, but I'll get you something.
That's
See.
interesting, something that a lot of people probably don't know about.
That speaks well of our library, like our poetry contest.
Yeah, it'd be something to look at, like the lady, the where was the original library?
Probably electrical.
What kind of services did they provide?
Oh, that I can't probably.
See, was it,
Probably, yeah,
No
just-
computers.
yeah, was it part of the city or part of the?
No,
not
it
part
wasn't,
of the
it
city?
didn't become part of the city
Or-
till a lot
or the
later.
But
Public
I mean,
schools.
to put it in perspective as far as historically, the value of books, because back in that day, you didn't use a
That's
cell
all it
phone
was.
or any kind of telecommunications. If you wanted to get the word out, you wrote a book
No
or
había ni teléfono.
newspaper. It was always in a print version,
Yes.
you know, and that's the way you did it, historically.
Pues no sé, but a lot of people didn't have telephone.
And especially like here, like, you know, how do you, would you have any books from back then?
No,
No,
unless there's something that historical, but I
Yes,
really
no.
highly doubt
no,
it.
I'm just saying, maybe someone catch that.
no, maybe, like the ones in the storage, no.
Libraries
In
in
our
our
time.
In our-
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
in our archive. No, they throw after community.
What is this community and friends, or community friends? What do they do?
Oh, no, she's inviting the different community organizations. They come and talk to the kids sometimes.
Oh, okay.
If it's a firefighter, sometimes they bring the fire truck or their mascot.
Okay, so it's just like,
A little talk and let the kids get to know them.
okay.
That's very nice. That's Marshall.
I like the community friends. So yes, that's what and it's part of the library, a librarian, the librarian from Bruni Plaza.
No, this is the librarian from Baskin. The Mike.
Oh,
At Bruni too? Yes.
yeah, it's a
Yes.
Bruni.
Oh, they're
So
community.
it's the librarian from there who invites us.
Baskin, the staff member.
Okay.
For grown-ups, here it is. Painting,
Pero a mí se me ahí de sketching.
same.
I qualify.
You're over 16?
You're 16 and up? Are you
qualified?
16? Yeah, you're, oh, now I see a lot of community friends.
And it's up to the librarian if they wanna invite outside people or they wanna do the program themselves.
Oh, my
Whatever
goodness.
works for them.
Same.
Police officers.
Summer volunteers.
We're booked here at the main, but other libraries are still taking
Volunteers.
And who comes? Police, border patrol.
No, she's talking about summer volunteers.
Oh.
Kids from schools.
Oh, I see.
And they get
Community
community
service.
service, that's good.
They also get, if they join the teen advisory board and come to the, so that's another option for the kids. Or they can go to another library.
It's wonderful that you're involving so many, the age group, the different age groups. Sometimes the teens don't have a lot of
No, and-
opportunities.
They had a good crowd today.
Any other comments on the recent upcoming library programs and services? Okay, monthly statistics.
And that's again, it's the last thing in your packet. We continue to see increases from last year. So this is in comparisons to April 2022.
So growth from comparison to April of 2022, but yet pre-COVID, we're still not there.
Not there, not quite.
Okay.
We're getting there, or at least it feels like we're
Okay.
They see the movies a lot, movie attendance, wow.
What's book a librarian?
That's one-on-one with the library.
1,030 people come to see movies.
If, learn how to use email, learn how to search our databases.
Do you have, for example, sort of like a survey that you send out to the public as far as like what would they want to see in our library?
We just did, we're still working on compiling.
Okay, and would we get that for?
Oh, yes,
For
you're-
next, okay.
Maybe not next, but yes, you will get it.
And then from, like, would you have, is it a large survey? Like, could you give a percentage of the city that's responding or something like that?
I believe we collected 500. It was on our website and we were also asking people that were coming in here to fill it out.
Okay. It'd be nice to push that, like, I guess the next time a little more, just to see what it is that they,
It was also on the city's webpage, they also promoted it for us.
yeah, just so that they can, we can see what kind of services or what kind of resources really they would wanna see in our public library. And maybe, I don't know, is there a comparison to what other public libraries in other parts of Texas, or at least in our region, provide? Is there anything that goes on like that, like?
There's a public library survey that they compiled based on the annual report.
Just to see how do we compare to the public library systems, of comparable city size.
That is out there. That is
Okay.
out there. Probably it's not very recent because we just compiled the ones from last year. But they do put it together.
Okay. Just as something that, information for people who maybe are relocating here, or, because they do call about our schools, they call about other things, what do your libraries provide, like, what kind of programs, what kind of, resources, things of that nature. Okay.
Are we still getting money from the overdue book?
Yes, but it's not, we don't get the money. It's a general fund. So since we're a general fund department,
It goes-
everything goes.
But yeah, but I mean, I guess my question, let me rephrase it, are people actually paying
Yes,
their overdue
They are.
fines? Yes, like that's,
It's not a lot,
But
in
they do.
comparison to.
but they do pay. There's a lot of notices that were sent out.
Yes, and it looks, because during COVID and a little bit after we came back, we canceled that during that time.
You sent out 10,000 notices last year, right? No, this year. And last year, 4,000, right here on the last page.
Oh.
Overdue notices, there were 4,000. Last year, you sent out 10,000.
With the, in respect to like you talked about the juvenile, the volunteers that they get, the teen club and all that. And I saw something in here about the reading program, summer reading programs. Do they incorporate or like recommended summer reading lists from both school districts?
Oh, yes.
And
We
you
get it
have copies available?
In the children's area, we have them in a bookcase, but we've tried to, sometimes they're not available anymore in hard copies, so we get the electronic ones. So we have them in different varieties of formats.
It'd be interesting to see the circulation numbers of those books, even as the high school reading lists. Because I'm always reminded of, and I had this conversation with my son yesterday. I've forgotten her name, but in 2016, she was the chosen speaker to address the University of Texas at Austin. And she's a Laredoan. Yes, she was a Laredoan. She was apparently, and I hadn't heard about her until I heard it. Well, she didn't write a book. I was thumbing through addresses of that. I'm nerdy that way. And she's a Laredoan. She had a store on San Bernardo, I think. And she was undersecretary of the Department of Education under George Bush. She was like a CEO at AT&T, and she was chosen to speak. And she's on the board of regents for the University of Texas at Austin. And she was a Laredoan, and she was chosen to speak for the 2016 commencement. And one of the things she said is that, and when she got to the University of Texas at Austin, and I'm sure this is for most universities, right? Is that one of the comments she spoke is when she was her experience as a freshman. And she sat there in the class, she saw the freshman reading list for the syllabus, and she commented to the girl next to her, like, can you believe this reading list? Like, my God, it's a lot. And that person replied, oh, I already read all these books. And that's when she realized, I need to bring my A game to this university, right? And that's why I'm asking about like reading lists and things to prepare and even help our youth and make them understand, like, you better bring your A game to places. Any institute of higher learning, TAMU, any of them.
And I wonder how many of those reading lists are compiled for the district to share with middle and high school,
Did they share them with you?
Yes, no, we request them.
Good.
Because we know people are gonna be coming during the summer wanting to read it.
Right.
And so, I mean, at one year we went down the list, and if we couldn't get it, we'd get the electronic version, whatever
Right.
we could get our hands on. But, I think Melly sends it to us, and I think
Mrs.
Taboada.
Taboada?
We get it
The one
somehow.
that's in charge of the library?
In UISD. We get it from somebody from UISD, so we try to get it. They don't change, they haven't really like changed much, but you just need to make sure we have them somewhere.
But I'm wondering, like you're saying, with those lists for our higher learning, entities, if those are
Comparable to
maybe
what they're
not
requesting.
compiled, but just, so that maybe the counselors at the middle and high school are looking at, what is it that they're gonna be either required or what they should be familiar with,
Right, and it's just, and the reason why I bring it to mind is because of the, here's her name, I found her.
What's
is,
her name?
Is because I went in the function of a public library, right? In the spirit of that, I started looking for the summer reading list and started saying, okay, this is out of print or this is out of whatever, but here's a price to it. For those in our community that cannot and they have a library card, come to the library, it's free. You know what I'm saying? Things of that nature. Her name was Sara Martinez Tucker. Imagine Sara Martinez. I'm imagining was her name here, and then I guess she married some guy named Tucker. But yeah, she is.
She was
Rings a bell, Saturday.
Assistant Secretary of Education.
She was the Undersecretary of Education for the Department of Education of President Bush.
Rings a bell.
Which one of the Bushes?
The young one.
Oh, geez.
I want to say the young one. Yeah.
The son.
Yes.
W.
Yes, I did find it.
Sara Martinez Tucker. It's funny because, we give a lot of publicity to a lot of Laredoans that, and I never heard of her. It sounds familiar, but
The reason
Lauro
yeah,
Cavazos, who was from the valley, not even,
right.
he had a sister here, but the people knew about him, but Sara Martinez Tucker,
Yes,
never
it's,
heard.
the reason why I looked at it, I remember now, is because that's when my daughter, that was her first
Sounds-
freshman year. She graduated 2016
Yeah.
high school, and so I was watching the
Wow.
commencement that they have on television, and here I found her entire speech here.
Wow.
Yes, so
Who are her parents?
I don't.
Martinez Tucker. No, the other one's Hunter. Martinez Hunter. Tucker.
I don't remember.
Born in Laredo,
Well, I don't know.
education.
Yes. So anyway, that's just my point. Is that do we have like free access for our kiddos? For I think on the list is like To Kill a Mockingbird, Mice and Men, something with mango. Forgot the name of it.
House on
That
Mondo Street.
That one, and that's just for freshmen. And every grade has their right, just so our students have a free access to it. And maybe do they even, I don't know, do they reserve books? Do we do that here? Do I say, okay, can I reserve it when it comes back?
Yes, you can put a hold on it.
Something like that, because
Even the
books,
you can
books
do
like
that.
glasses, they can get expensive, and so that's one of the reasons why I bring it up. Okay,
No,
sorry.
we do work with the schools on that.
I'm glad you brought her up because I think we should know more about her and we don't. And that's, the Laredo Times, I don't know if you've seen, we had a Spanish dancer, flamenco dancer.
Oh, she's coming
And
Saturday.
I know, she's wonderful.
Gomez.
We had a singer this morning.
Yeah.
We had, a boxer or something last week.
Yes.
Why don't we have her, I'm just thinking out loud.
No, I agree with you.
Yeah.
I agree with you. When I
And
saw that, and I was like, why wasn't that, featured on our paper when she did make the address? Because
Yes,
she's already-
yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Yes,
I agree with you.
Yes,
How old is this kid?
yeah.
This was in 2016?
This was in 2016. Yeah, I have her whole speech here. I'm looking at it. I'm not going to read it right now. But definitely,
It's
and in here, it's all here. So.
Hispanic of the Year in 2000 by Hispanic Magazine. Wow.
Is her picture there?
No, not in this one, but I'm here.
So are there any other questions on monthly statistics? Okay, items for discussion and possible action next time. I think We want the history?
Yes, we want the
History.
History,
What else? I know there was some more stuff.
history and, we were gonna look, see, they're gonna fix that so
Yeah,
that the pictures
update on
could
the
be,
repairs.
Yes, we want to see.
No, we'll put that on the
What is the
checklist.
last picture that was taken, that,
Was that, we're there.
is that the last one?
Yes, I think that's the last one.
It was a while ago.
It needs to be revised, right?
Yeah.
We need an updated one. What year was that? Does it say the year?
No.
We've taken pictures, but
Not one with Rose Neal,
No.
no.
Are we
We don't
missing
have-
people?
Melly Price, Romo.
We have the 9.
Well, no, okay,
Oh,
so then
in-
all the
All are
members
appointed.
are appointed. Okay, so we should have all 9. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Anything else for next meeting that anybody would like to
Um,
have a question on? Of course, you can always, if you ever think of something, you can always email it.
Let us know. I have the next meeting for June the 28th. I don't know if you recall, we usually skip a meeting in the summer. So,
Can we skip July?
July?
I would say July,
July?
yeah, because we're coming back from, and it's really hectic.
Mhm.
Yeah.
We're still on
That's
7th.
when you are just starting, right?
Yes.
You start back, kids start
17th.
August early.
And
August,
ISD starts earlier than we do this year, I don't know why. Yes, yes.
so we're gonna skip July, right?
Yes, so the June meeting is on the 28th,
Uh-huh.
the last Wednesday of the month.
Yes.
Okay.
So June 28th, it's,
And then when we meet again in August, it was like we did this before.
Feels like that now.
library meeting June 28th, and then
All right.
nothing in July until August,
So,
right?
yeah.
Library Advisory Committee member absences?
Mr. Romo and Ms. Pius and Ms. Perez.
Any motion to adjourn?
I so moved.
We have a motion, a second? We have a second? All those in favor to adjourn the meeting?
Aye.
All those opposed? Ayes have it, the meeting is now adjourned about 2 or 3 minutes to 6.